Hey guys, it's Sean O'Connell, the managing director here at CinemaBlend, and I want to talk to you guys about the end of the new film, Bad Boys for Life. There's an explanation that needs to come with some of the things that happened in the third act, and then of course that mid-credits scene. I hope you guys stayed through to watch what developed in terms of the story. Naturally, this is going to be jam-packed with spoilers for the new film, Bad Boys for Life, so if you haven't yet seen it, or you care about things like that, back out now. Before you do that though, do me a favor, go down, hit subscribe, turn on your notifications, because every time we post videos like this, I want you guys to come watch them. And so for the rest of you, who I'm assuming have seen Bad Boys for Life, let's talk about that ending. So, the villain that Mike Lowrey and Marcus Burnett have been tracking this entire time, the guy who shot Mike Lowrey on video camera and essentially killed him, is Mike Lowrey's son. And we learn through some exposition that Mike did have a relationship with a woman who was married to a crime lord, and they had a son together. Mike finds out that she went to prison and delivered the baby 8 months after she was arrested. He puts the math together, figures out that it's his kid, and then he's got to basically confront this person who's been trying to gun him down for the entire movie, and it's his child, which is an emotional connection for Mike because he's always been the non-family guy, and we understand that because of this, he's been keeping people at a distance because, yes, he did have a love of his life once, but didn't know that this whole time that it had produced a child. And it's really funny because in the movie itself, Martin Lawrence kind of acknowledges that this is really some Mexican soap opera.
I'm about to throw up.
But, just because they sort of wink and nod at the fact that it's a soap opera plot doesn't make it any less sort of soap opera when it's happening to the characters. But Mike is now a father. He has a grown son who, of course, is trying to kill him, which is how things happen in the Bad Boys universe.
Uh-oh, here we go again.
When we get to the mid-credit scene, the guy is in prison. He's basically serving time for all of the murders that he has committed over the course of the film Bad Boys for Life. And Mike says to him, look, I won't be able to get you out of that type of trouble, but just know that I will be there for you. So the movie ends. We catch up with them in the mid-credit sequence where Mike is going to visit his son in this prison. And it's not just a standard prison. It's like a Hannibal Lecter by itself federal cage where he's the only one in there. And Mike approaches the bars and he asks him how he's doing. And the son says, look, I'm atoning for my sins. This is a problem that I had and I'm ready to put in the time. And then Mike says, look, something might have happened that will allow you to shave some of that time off. Are you interested? And they cut to black. And it's like a Fast and Furious setup in that, the story doesn't end. They tease where it might be able to go. It's odd that it feels like if they're going to keep going forward with it, that it would be Mike Lowrey, Will Smith's character, and his son, who we didn't know was part of the franchise. And that's, again, what the Fast and Furious kind of does when they do each of their different movies. They keep adding new characters. They're very family-focused. I don't think you could do a fourth Bad Boys movie and not have Martin Lawrence return in some fashion.
We fly together, we die together.
The way that they set up that mid-credit sequence really feels like that they're going to go ahead and do Will Smith and his kid on some type of mission, which, again, I'm somewhat interested to watch because I like Mike Lowrey as a character, but it doesn't feel like that's a Bad Boys film anymore. So let's discuss if this part 4 will actually happen. And of course, that is up to you, basically, because if Bad Boys for Life makes a ton of money at the box office, then Sony will know that we want to see more movies from this franchise and they'll go forward with the story. There were 25 years between the first Bad Boys film and this new one, and 17 years between Bad Boys 2 and Bad Boys for Life. And Michael Bay did not return. We got new directors for Bad Boys for Life, and those guys could easily continue on with a part 4. When they announced that Will Smith and Martin Lawrence were coming back for Bad Boys, I believe that they had a plan in place to do the two movies almost back to back, and then that got shuttled. I know they had release dates and then they got changed.
Come on, man.
I think Sony was maybe just pumping the brakes to see if there was still an interest in this franchise, but studios are always looking for successful franchises, and I really think this movie is going to do very well, not just with fans of the original two films, although the movie was made as like a love letter to the previous two Bad Boys films, but I just think with mainstream audiences that are looking for something as an alternate to the Oscar-friendly films that are in theaters right now in January. January can be a bit of a wasteland in terms of blockbuster entertainment, and some films have sort of tested the waters of January, February, and found some success. I originally went into Bad Boys for Life thinking it was going to be a bad film because, you know, Sony put it in that early January slot. But it's really good, and I think it's going to start competing at the top of the box office. And when I recorded this video for you guys, it was sitting at 91% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, Not a lot of reviews filed just yet, but the initial push seemed to suggest the critics dug it too. So if we come out of this opening weekend and Bad Boys has set some type of records at the box office, don't be surprised to hear that Sony greenlights this part 4 pretty quickly, because they very clearly have set up a direction for where they want the story to go. That's a deliberate tease put into the end credit sequence, and now I'm sure the studio is just sitting back waiting to make sure that fans want to see more from the story before they finally decide to go forward.
One last time.
One last time.
What did you guys think about the end credit sequence in Bad Boys for Life? First off, were you surprised that there even was one? Because I know that's like a Marvel Cinematic Universe type thing, and it's not like the Bad Boys are in a cinematic universe of their own. However, by introducing Mike Lowry's son, maybe they're trying to establish something bigger. We also got a whole new team of young cops that could be brought into the sequel because Mike started to work with them on his case and bring them in and no longer be the lone wolf cop that he was.
What's she gonna do? What's she gonna do when we come in?
No, never.
I don't know how much I love that yet, but I'm going to wait and see how it sort of develops and see where the next chapter goes in this franchise. I'm just happy that they're back on screen. Tell me if you agree with me. Go down in the comment section. Weigh in on not just Bad Boys for Life in general, but what you thought about the direction of where they're going with that mid-credit sequence. While you're down there, do me a favor. Again, come on, hit subscribe and turn on your notifications. Why haven't you done that yet? I mean, we post videos like this all the time on CinemaBlend. I know you guys enjoyed them. I see the thumbs up that you give us. So subscribe, turn on your notifications, and watch all the videos that we post here.